Hey, everybody. This is Paul Gray saying welcome to Grace with Paul Gray. What do you think of when you hear the word righteousness? Let me put you at ease to begin with. You already are righteous. You always have been, solely because God made you right with Him. Now, if you can rest on that assurance, let's talk a little bit about how many of us may have been deceived in the past. Those of us, like myself, with any religious background, have probably been taught that God is righteous, which is true, and that we are unrighteous, which is not true. We've also been taught that it's our duty and we're required by God that we strive to become righteous by our actions and thoughts. That's not true either. The problem lies in part with understanding what the original word meant. When Jesus and the New Testament writers talked about righteousness, it was always in the context of relationship. Actually, everything with God, everything that God is about relationship, and not so much as being about behavior, which is sort of a side product. The original Greek word we translate righteousness was first translated into English being as right wiseness. And it meant being in a right relationship with someone. Well, the first and the ultimate relationship is with the Trinity, Jesus, Papa, and the Holy Spirit, who have always been in a right relationship with each other. They are all about relationship. Relationship is the most important thing to them. That's why they created us, so we could have a relationship with Him. Their relationship consists of pure, unconditional love, which always does what's best for the other person and doesn't care who gets the credit or anything like that. That pure, unconditional love, the original Greek word is agape, which means a divine, supernatural type of love. They have always existed in this divine, triune circle dance of love and everything that flows from it. Joy and peace and patience and kindness and goodness and gentleness and the faith of Jesus and compassion and mercy and grace and so much more. Everything good and nothing bad. The relationship amongst the three of them has always been, is, and always will be perfect. It's right. Just right. That's the true meaning of righteousness. A perfect, right relationship. Now, of course, their behavior is perfect. Jesus led a sinless life, but that's not the essence of what righteousness is. Again, it's sort of a byproduct, if you will. Now, here's the unbelievable, almost too good to be true, except it is true, truth about this. Listen carefully, they have already included you and me and everyone in their right relationship. All of us. It's not that any of us qualified it or earned it or merited it or even asked for a relationship with them. It's not that we need to work on our relationship to get right with God. You ever had somebody say, "Are you right with God?" Well, you are. They have already included us and made us right for them. Doesn't make any difference if we know it or feel like it or whatever. Now, it will make a difference in us enjoying it when we know it, but our participation has nothing to do with it. It's a done deal. 2 Corinthians 5:21 tells us that at the cross, Jesus took our sin and made us, just like He created and spoke everything into existence, He made us the righteousness of God. We became new creations, pure and holy and right, righteousness. Acts 17:31 tells us that Jesus at the cross judged us righteous. He's like the judge, and He says, "I judge you righteous." Romans 1:7 tells us that God revealed to us our righteousness to us from His faith to our faith. Romans chapters 3, 4, and 5 says in a number of ways that we have all been counted or reckoned or certified or credited as righteous. God declared us righteous. So, in the same way that confess means to agree with what God says, we are to confess, agree with God, that we are righteous because He made us righteous and He says we're righteous. I don't want to argue with Him. I do sometimes, but I don't want to. That means we can all take joy, we can be of good cheer, we can be happy, we can feel good about the truth according to God that we are already righteous, made right, and included in God's right community with Jesus, Papa, and the Holy Spirit forever. And so is everyone else. Whether we want them to be, whether we judge them worthy to be, whether we think they ought to be, whether we think they deserve it, we have all been included in their divine triune circle dance of love, and everything that's included in that, we have been made right with them. That's called the gospel, the good news of the grace of God. Pretty cool, isn't it? See you next time.